everybody, a Static Fizz coming at you with some Bazaar um, changes. I am a little late because they came out on January 8th instead, so I'm doing this on the 11th, so I am a little bit on the late side, but that's okay. Alright, so for some gameplay changes, we've got level up structure revamped to consist largely of fixed options. Um, Most skills will now be obtained via level up. I really like this option since level ups were really inconsistent for what was going on. Skill trainers, with the exception of Grandmaster, Nufu, and Zerfin's Safari, have been removed from the regular encounter pool. Um, this is going to be nice. They're really just removing it from the regular encounter pool so you can get them now when you level up a little farther down in the notes. Skill trainers, with the exception of the same three, now offer free skills. Those are again for the level ups. If you get a level up skill, they will be free. Skills when not available for free now cost 5, 10, 20, 40 gold, up from 3, 6, 12, 24. I really like this change. A lot of the skills that you're going to be getting now are going to be free, so it's going to be a lot cheaper in the game, so they're kind of doing this to offset that balance. Rerolls added to all merchants and trainers, and costs now vary based on the merchant's tier. So this is really exciting. I think that will allow for more fluidity in the game. Skill trainers now offer 3 skills instead of 4. This is going to be a really nice change. Aerodrome no longer spawns the removed trainers. Pearl's dig site is now an encounter instead of a merchant. This is going to be great to balance out some of those skills that were an issue. Seraphina now allows multiple purchases. Start of run item pools no longer contain large items. Monster Ranch is now gold tier up from silver and offers one free item from a selection of 5 items. I think that this is actually going to be better for the game. So I'm kind of excited for that change. Sterling has been renamed to Sylvia. This is the silver merchant, I believe. Silver tier item merchant, formerly Sterling, is tired of people not buying silver large items and no longer spawns on day 1. Uh, this kind of makes sense. A lot of the times when you would get this, it would be a huge money sink early, and so it'd be harder for you to recover your econ. So I understand why they did this. You could roll some really cool stuff though. So Elder Tuscari has been renamed to Mr. Tuscari. Snack time has been reduced to 20 max HP per level instead of 25. I like this change quite a bit. Restorative and shielded on many items have been updated to better map to the item's base effects. For example, a restorative shield item will heal equal to its shield. This is really nice. I think that this is going to, I mean, it'll be good for everybody, but it'll essentially be good for Pig. Um, Grandmaster and B1, B2 will no longer offer options that aren't upgrades. This is awesome. Um, I couldn't tell you how many times I went to these two merchants and gotten something that wasn't an upgrade and just, I was sad. Barkun now sells small items at +1 value. Midsworth now buys mediums items at 2 value. And Quixel buys large items at 3 value. Added to your bushel now actually upgrades your player's bushel. I like that change. I wish they would have done it a little earlier, but that's okay. They're a pretty small team. New features. Hattie has arrived. You get to spin a wheel for the prize. And not even Reynad, the head of this, knew that this was coming out, so that's pretty exciting. Replays and recaps enabled. This is going to be one of the best changes and additives into the game, I think, thus far. This is so important. It allows you to see so many different stats depending on how the fight went and how many times each thing activated. So that'll be very good. Monster changes. Monster HP has been reduced on a number of monsters. Veteran Octopus now has 8,888 HP. That's kind of fun and cool. I really like that. This is no longer a gimme on day, was it 5 or 6? So you're actually going to have to think about this a bit more now. Retiree has traded one of his succulents for some bandages. Okay. So it looks like he's going to be slight bit stronger, but not too much. Sparring partner disabled pending rework. From what Waynad was saying, this was not working exactly how they intended. It felt pretty clunky, so they wanted to just kind of take it out of the beta and give it the rework treatment. Frost Street Champion and Wandering Shoal is now re-enabled. I've seen a couple of these while watching Crypt livestream, and they're pretty cool. You can get some really nice stuff from them. Robo Bouncer has been renamed to Bouncer Tron. Warrior is now a silver tier monster with reduced HP and a weaker loadout down from gold tier. You can now beat Warrior sometimes. It's not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination, but if you are rolling pretty high and he comes up, there's a slight chance you can beat him now. Tent City Mayor is named Trash Town Mayor and is now a day 5 monster. This is a really good change. His scaling could get a little too insane getting those from his skills, getting those super early on day 2. It enabled just so many weapon builds that should not work, but it would like force them to work. Okay, general item changes, enchantment updates. Um, so really what this is they're trying to change how the enchantment system works. Now that they've got some of the bigger issues out of the way, they want to change enchantments to feel a little bit more fair. Some enchantments feel a lot better than others do, and of course, a lot of it depends on what build you're going, but some of them you can use in any build, and some of them you can only use in certain builds. So I'm glad that they're taking a look at this right now. Um, yeah, I can't wait to see what they come up for with this. Snowflake has been reverted to giving one freeze duration. This was really good against Dooley. A lot of the times you could luckily freeze one of his uh, enhancers for haste, and it would just screw up his entire early part of the fight. And then you could usually overcome him with scalings and beat him. Weather Machine now has a cooldown of 5 seconds and its scaling is fixed. Um, I haven't personally run this, but I've heard a lot of other streamers say that it is kind of mid. Even if you get a really good game to go around a weather machine, it can usually still win. So it doesn't feel as high rolly as some of the other, lucky, perfect skills and stuff for certain items. Shurkray and Chris Army Knife have had their projectiles updated. I think that this is referring to the animation for when they deal damage. Not a big deal. Rivet Gun can now be enchanted with Obsidian and Shiny. Um, I'm not exactly sure why they changed that, but yeah. Butter has been updated. You haste one item for 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds for each adjacent tool. This gains when multicast. Um, from adjacent food and tool items gain haste for 3 seconds. So they're really looking at the haste for that one. Thurable now starts at bronze tier. Um, I mean, this is a good change. Venomander now starts at bronze tier at a 6-second cooldown, down from 8 seconds. Um, he's looking a little bit better now. I'm not sure if he could probably be like a main carry, but maybe he could be like an ideal secondary carry because he gives you regen. Sharpening Stone now starts a silver tier and gives not 5, 10, 20 damage from 3, 6, 9, 12. This is going to feel a lot better for weapons. I really hope that this pushes weapons over into the same viability that damage and poison has. Extract now starts at silver tier and gives not 1, 2, 4 poison from 1, 2, 3, 4. Um, yeah, I'm just kind of taking a look. It looks like they did the same thing to cinders. So extract and cinders are going to be a slight bit weaker. Okay. Medkit now gives 5, 10, 20, 40 healing from 5, 10, 15, 20. That does feel a little good. I really hated getting medkits in the last patch because unless you had like an Aiden, it was pretty much like it didn't scale enough for the game. Scrap now gives 3, 6, 12, 24 shield, so they nerfed the scrap, which I kind of liked where it was, but I also saw it be able to snowball way too hard, so I kind of understand why they made this change. Mortal Coil, I have never played. Sunlight Spear, cooldown is 5 seconds down from 6. Satchel now starts at silver tier with 7-second cooldown down from 8, so this might be a semi-decent um, chance to do this build. Cosmic Plumage can now be enchanted with Deadly. Cool. Necronomicon now has a cooldown of 4 seconds with Poison 10, Gain 10 regen. When any non-weapon is used, charge this 1 second. Okay, that's a good change. Rivet Gun. Okay, it looks like they gave it another damage buff. And then that's a buff too. Neurotoxin starts at bronze tier with 6 seconds. Slow one item for 2 seconds from 1, 2, 3. When you use an adjacent weapon, charge this 1, 2, 3, 4. From when you use an adjacent weapon, use this. This should be nice. This should be nice. You can now use this for proboscis. You can now use this for like a small, quick slot in if you don't have any other better weapon. This would be a half decent one to do. Icebreaker deals 80 damage up from 40. It's still okay. Venom now has a cooldown of 3 seconds with Poison 2 from 1, 2, 3. That's pretty decent. When you use an adjacent weapon, charge this 1, 2, 3 seconds from when you use an adjacent weapon, use this. Yeah, I've noticed that they're doing a lot of this, and I agree with it. I think it's healthy. Um, Let me see. Heal on Black Rose. Earrings has a cooldown of 5, down from 5, down from 6. Gain 5 max health for the fight from slow one item. When you slow, charge this. Oh, they turned it into a max health item. Okay. Um, Nightshade has more poison, and when you heal, yeah, that's just going to be a lot stronger now. Candles, I'm not sure what that is. Pendulum now has a cooldown of 8 seconds, up from 4 seconds, with haster items for 2 seconds. Okay. So it looks like a lot of the things that were just use this item, they're changing to now just hasting, having haste for each item that you use. Fossilized Femur now starts silver tier, 300 damage from 400. 200, 400 when you slow, charge this 1, 2, 3 seconds, and gains a decent amount of damage for the fight. When you slow, charge it. Ouroboros statue, um, buff, I guess. Yeah, Proboscis now has a cooldown. It's not just whenever you slow, but it can still work as a pretty good damage item. Looks like they wanted to leave it open to be able to be still used, so that's pretty exciting. Oven Mitts now has a cooldown of 6 seconds. Yep, this one didn't really have a cooldown, it was just when you hasted. And now you haste an item for 2 seconds from 1 to 3, shield 10 from 5, 10, 15. It looks like they kind of just went down the middle with that one. Sirens. Sirens is now slow one item for 1, 2, 3 seconds from 2, 4, 6 seconds. Haste an item for 1, 2, 3 seconds from when you slow haste a vehicle. Okay, so this is more utilitous. For each UD's adjacent vehicle, this has a +1 multicast. Okay, so this is actually going to be pretty decent if you can find it. Propane tank, it now has a cooldown of 6 seconds, down from 9. You haste your vehicles for 3, 4, 5 from 2, 3, 5, which is a buff at the early game. Um, yeah, that's pretty decent too. Cryo sleeve now has a cooldown of 6 seconds, freezes for 2 seconds. Igloo is now freeze one item for 1, 2, 3 seconds, and then shield from when you freeze. And the first time you fall below half HP each fight, use this. Um, Gatling guns damage has been increased. I think that might be both for the health of the item and for going against that specific encounter. Is it Lord Arkin? Hydraulic Squeezer now deals some more damage, and your weapons gain 369 damage for the fight, and when you use another tool, charge it a second. Um, yeah, I think that puts that where it needs to be. Magic Carpet. Now, I've never actually seen this, um, but on paper, it looks pretty decent. They nerfed it 1, 2, 3. Um, oh, so they nerfed it. It looks like it was too good. Runic Double Bow, I've never run into this. Runic Great Axe, I usually never take this either because I just don't have enough room. Incense cooldown is now 8 seconds down from 10. Incense heals. Okay, so they buffed the heal quite a bit, so this is now usable. Basilisk Fang has a crit chance up from 10, 20. This is nice. While the enemy has poison. This used to be really good on Poison Dooley, and maybe this might help him stabilize a little bit from um, the change of Monitor Lizard. Alright, so skill changes. We've got a number of basic skills have been removed, such as one that buffs small, medium, large items, as well as other niche skills that were deemed too situational. This is good. I think that this proves that they have been taking a careful look at all of the stats and all of that kind of stuff to get this game feeling as good as it can. Okay, so a lot of these we're not going to go through because of brevity, but really what it is they are just tuning down a lot of the skills that were really too strong for free, which there were quite a few of them. You can see how many changes there are. Um, a lot of these are just slight number moves. They're not trying to do anything too big because they want to see kind of how the status of the meta levels out afterwards. All right, Vanessa, port. It drops items equal to its tier again, as well as cross-hero items. That's kind of exciting. That can open up a few more builds, especially if you can find a lucky part early. Life Preserver is amazing. I love this item. It's so fun in the early game. Pufferfish is now re-enabled. Um, I've seen that people can eventually get to the same amount of haste that this used to have, but you usually have to use your entire board to get there now. So a lot of the times you are squishy and you don't have as much, healing and shielding as you did before. So this feels a lot better. Boulder now starts at gold tier with a 20-16 second cooldown. Um, I've actually seen Crip use this pretty well. He got it on Vanessa, and he was using a lot of healing and shielding items. He got the newly buffed Turtle Shell, which we'll get to a couple down. It's kind of broken, and it just really enabled him to stall out the game until his boulder could go off. Barrel now starts at silver tier with shield of 5, 10, 20, 40, and shield self buff of 5, 10, 15, 20. So this should be really good now. I've seen a couple people already run a barrel, So obviously it's really seemingly felt a lot better. Turtle Shell is now 6-second cooldown. Shields 10 gives your shields item plus 10 for the fight when you use a non-weapon item, sorry. Charge this 1, 2, 3 seconds. Yep, really good. Cannonade is now 6 seconds, deal 100 damage. When you use a weapon, charge this 1, 2, 3 seconds. This is now pretty good. It's just really expensive because it's a large item. Electric Eels is now 6-second cooldown with deal 25 damage, slow one item for 2 seconds. When your enemy uses an item, charge this 1, 2, 3 seconds. This is a pretty decent item, especially if you get some really good scaling options for it. Illusory can now be enchanted with Deadly, that's pretty cool. Switchblade, meh. Blunderbuss is now... oh, they changed it. Yeah, that's a pretty decent change. I was feeling like Blunderbuss was a little too high damage there. Double Barrel deals 20, 40, 60, 160 from 15, 30, 60, 120. This is just going to give your early game a little bit more of a buff, especially because this is going to be one of the main starters you're going to get for Vanessa. Seaweed now starts bronze tier and is heal 1, 10, 20, 40, 80 from heal 20. And when you use an aquatic item, this gains 5, 10, 15, 20 heal for the fight, up from 5, 10, 15. This is a really good change. Uh, Sexton has now gotten a actual cooldown. Incendiary rounds now has an actual cooldown. They buffed Lighthouse quite a bit. You start with the max burn, which is good because Lighthouse you needed burn in order to run it. But if you could find that burn, it was really good. Um, Trebuchet, the cooldown is now 10 seconds, thank goodness. And you deal 50 damage instead of scaling damage, which is pretty nice. And then burn, you do not scale anymore. Holy cow. When you use a weapon or haste, charge this 1 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will help with the cooldown. This will put this more in line with everything else in the game. Throwing knives now start silver tier at 3 seconds, up from 2 seconds with deal 33 damage from 5, 10, 20, 40. Good. You used to get these all the time early game, and they were so useless. When you crit with another item, charge this not 1, 2, 3 seconds from 1 second. This is good. Water Wheel got a good change. Captain's Wheel got a new change. Pearl got a new change. Astrolabe um, got the flat shield, so this is going to be a bit weaker. But if I remember correctly, yeah, the haste now scales. So that's going to be good. Catfish now has a cooldown of 5 seconds from 3. Really trying to make sure they bring that burn in line. Um, Tripwire is now bronze tier, so you can get it earlier. Ballista um, deals a bit more damage, which is good. That item was always underwhelming. Dam is back, and this still looks like it might be a large annoyance for the game. Shark Ray now starts silver tier. You deal 10, 20, 40 damage from 20, 40 damage. That's good. And when this gains haste, this gains 10, 20, 40 damage for the fight from 20, 40. Okay, so you can use it earlier and it will scale a little bit better. Crow's Nest is still great. They did have to change the crit chance, but that's okay. 100% crit chance for free on any weapon was a little uh, crazy, especially for a large weapon, or a large item, sorry. Grappling Hook's cooldown is now 6 seconds, down from 7. That item's okay. Pygmalion, they brought back Beehive, fixing a bug where it charged all items instead of just the bees. So this will be in line with all the other items, or it should be. Shipment drops items equal to its tier again, as well as cross-hero items. That's a big deal. Um, Model ship now counts as aquatic and a vehicle, so that's a big buff. Um, this item got buffed. I don't really use it very much, but maybe it's now usable. Giant Ice Club, they nerfed a bit, which is okay. I know a lot of people hate freeze in this game. I think it's just kind of a necessary evil. Snow Globe is one multicast for each adjacent property, which I think they used to have. Lemonade Stand's cooldown is increased, but that doesn't matter. You usually keep it in your bench instead of on your board. Matchbox is a little bit better in the early and mid game, but loses a little bit of its power late game. But you get to charge it a little bit more, which is cool, so you'll be able to use it a lot more. It should be able to stack up easier. Landscraper now has a cooldown of 8 seconds. That's cool. Shield item to its value. When you use another item, charge it. Vineyard has a cooldown of 8 seconds, up from 6. Heal item equal to this item's value, which is nice. When you use another item, charge it 1, 2, 3 seconds, down from 2, 3, 4, which is okay. At the start of each hour, this gains 1, 2, 3 value from 1 value. That's important. That's big. This means that you can scale it a lot more for the late game. Yo-Yo. Looks like Yo-Yo has a little bit of a nerf, which is okay. This item is really annoying and probably hard to nerf or hard to work around. Bushel. Bushel is heal 20 now from 10, 20, 40, 80, and when you shield, charges 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds from a flat 2. I think that this is a good change. Bushel is one of those items that's really good in the early game, but kind of falls off later, so that should help that a bit. Fort now has a cooldown of 4 seconds. This did not used to have a cooldown. You shield 20. Enemy items cooldowns are reduced by not 1, 2, and then when you use another item, charge this by not 1, 2. This should be healthier as well. Fort was really good, but it was really hard to get. Um, Marbles now has a cooldown of 4 seconds from 3. You get to slow 2 small items for 2 seconds from slow 1 item for scaling seconds. I think that this is better. I think that this also opens up Proboscis a little bit more for Pygmalion. When you use an adjacent small item, charge this 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds from 1 second. That's just a solid change. Windmill now has a cooldown of 4 seconds with charge adjacent items 1 second. When you use another item, charge this 1 second. From when you use an item, charge another item 1 second. Okay, Dually. Coolant now freezes small items only. Big change. Omega Ray and Gamma Ray now only buff adjacent burn and poison items respectively. This is a nice change. Really bringing down the Ray build for Dually. Omega Ray now starts at Silver Tier with burn 468 from 2468. And when you use the core, another ray, adjacent burn items gain 2, 3, 4 burn for the fight from 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is going to make you scale a little bit slower, which is good. Beta ray hit, gamma ray hit, an additional time. Shielded, shields 50 for each item to the left of this. Restorative. Cool, these are all good changes. Fuel Rod is back. Cool. Arc Blaster is back as well. Deal 40 damage. When you use the core, you charge it 1, 2, 3, 4 from 4 seconds. That'll bring that more in line. Rocket Launcher no longer doubles damage while enemy has burn. Now this is important. That is a big change. Just in time for holidays, Dooley's Scarf has received an updated design. It's pretty close to the same thing. Railguns enabled, cool. Blast doors are enabled again. Uh, this is this is pretty cool. I like this iteration. I really hope that this one lands. Miss Isles now has 1 max ammo down from 3. That's okay. If you're still playing her, you can use your Monster Ranch for extra ammo. So, I mean, that will slow you down a little bit in the scaling department, but that's okay. Cool Leads. This is absolutely the best item in the game, hands down, undisputed. Slow an item for 2 seconds from 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was way too powerful. When you use the core, charge this 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds from when you use the core slow. This item went off a ton. If you had enough haste, you could almost shut down all of your enemy's items in one fell swoop. Chem Snail is now a 4-second cooldown. Poison, no change, and then you slow an item that scales. This is better. Having just a flat there was really, really, really tough to get around. Next is Monitor Lizard. Monitor Lizard now starts at Bronze tier, 8 seconds, 8 cooldown, up from 6 cooldown. Poison 4, 6, 8, 10 from haste an item, which is good. This now has a cooldown, and when you haste, this gains 1, 2, 3, 4 poison for the fight. This is still going to be strong, I think, but it's going to be more in line with everything else in the game. Flamethrower's cooldown is 5 seconds, down from 6 seconds. Flamethrower was really slow to scale at first, so if you ever went against anybody who could beat you in the earlier mid game, you would usually lose. I'm sorry. Race Carl now starts Silver tier. He deals a flat 60 damage, which is decent at high ranks. He was really, really good. And when you haste charge this 1, 2, 3 seconds. Bomb Squad now has a cooldown of 8 seconds, up from 6 seconds. You got a burn 5, so you've got a slight buff from the earlier, but it will fall off a little bit later. And when you use an adjacent friend, you get to charge it 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds instead of 2 seconds. Higher rarities, that's of course going to be better. Micro Dave can now scale his burn a little bit better. Or, no. He's got a flat burn, sorry. He can't scale it any better. And when you use a small item, charge this 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds from 1 second. This will just make him go off a little bit more. Tesla Coil deals 60 damage from 10, 20, 40, 80 damage. And when you use an adjacent item, charge this 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds from 2 seconds. I would call this a buff. Tesla Coil was pretty decent before this patch, but now it looks like it's going to be better. Bellista, this item was pretty good. Let's see what they do to it. It's now a flat 30 damage. When you haste, it gains 30, 40, 50 damage from the fight, from 10, 20, 30 damage. And when this gains haste, charge this 1, 2, 3 seconds from 1 second. Okay, so I agree with this change. It looks like they are making it so that you have to scale it before it gets pretty good, which seems to be kind of what they're trying to do for a lot of the other items. So that's kind of expected. Duct tape. I assume this is going to be a nerf. Shield 5, 10, 20, 40. Slow one item for 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. When you use an adjacent item, charge this 1 second from when you would use an adjacent item shield. Okay, so it's now on its own cooldown, which makes sense. Armadillo is now a flat 60 instead of 20, 40, 80, 160, so this will be a little bit stronger on your early game. And when you shield, you charge 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, down from 2. Hamlet, instead of deal 15 damage, you deal not 15, 30, 60 damage. This is good. He was a little useless unless you got cool LEDs and Hamlet like right from the get-go. And that was really the only way you could use it efficiently, unless you got like a crazy skill or something. Solar Farm now has a cooldown of 8 seconds, which is good. You haste your other items for 2 seconds from 1, 2, 3, which is good. This item was really good. It is really situational, and so that's why a lot of people were okay with it being really good. I think that I do agree with this change because if you got lucky and you got a couple really lucky rolls, Solar Farm could make it so that you were completely invincible. I've been against a couple of people where I high rolled super hard, but I still couldn't even get, any of their health bar down just because they had a Solar Farm going off every, on internal cooldown. So this is definitely a good fix. Tons of bug fixes. I don't think I really want to go through the bug fixes at this point. I know that they are trying to fix some of the number of memory leaks and other optimization issues. They're asking that everybody please use the report bug button if you ever run into those, because whenever you use the report bug button, you do nothing but help the devs. So I highly encourage you to do that. Thank you so much for joining me today with this huge list of notes. Um, the video went on quite a bit longer than I anticipated, but that's okay. So thank you for joining me. If you could please leave a like and a comment and possibly subscribe onto my channel if you like the Bazaar content. I'm going to be bringing you Bazaar content as often as I can, as often as I have time for. And I'm going to try and take a very um, logical approach to the game. So thank you once again, everybody, for joining me for this. Have a great day and stay safe.